Hello and thank you for stopping by. This build is going to be like an inspirational bit because I've been watching a lot of, or re-watching a lot of the Love, Death and Robots TV show over on Netflix, and I was just going through some of my junk drawers, getting rid of some pieces, and came across these and decided, look, I'm going to have a go. I'm going to try and build a robot with the added twist that it's actually going to work. And that little turquoisey thing, mechanism there, I'm just working out how to put it into this plastic bottle. As you can see, there's precise measurements being taken on this one. I'm using all the skill and knowledge that I've amassed over the past couple of months and applying none of that, and just making random holes in the plastic, hoping that something will actually fit and work. So lo and behold, it does actually fit inside, which is a good start. But then I've got to work out how the battery pack, without taking wires apart, how I can just make it simple for me, and just try and stick it all onto the plastic body without having to go down the route of soldering and rewiring everything. So again, I'm just taking precise measurements and digging holes out of the plastic, and with brute force making the mechanism fit into the plastic, and finally it does with a bit of hot glue. And as you can see from the band-aid on my thumb, off screen, it was total random, and I actually prodded myself with the cocktail stick that's holding the mechanism inside the plastic. So here I've worked out that the other side to that bit that slots onto the battery pack isn't the same width because it doesn't have the battery pack, so I'm just going to use some XPS foam and just bulk it out so I get sort of like an even on both sides when it gets stuck to the actual main body of the bottle. And there I am again, using all the skill and techniques I've learnt through the years. I started off going to stick it the wrong way around, and then quickly realised before anything had set that was the correct way, and then just apply lots of baking powder just to make sure everything sticks. So to cover the gaps of the legs, I'm just using some of the thin EVA foam, and I'm just going to use that as the edging, and just then going to, as you'll see, stick it in around and just cover up all the gaps that the legs are showing from the bottle. That was a quick test to make sure that I hadn't broken anything and everything was still good, and then just proceeded to edge the legs. So once everything had stuck, I then just trimmed off the excess foam, and then it was on to thinking about what sort of arms I wanted, and I found a couple of ping pong balls that were just rattling around in one of my drawers, so I'm going to use them to start the arm process. I kind of like the shapes of Bioshock video games with how Big Daddy looks. So using the ping pong balls I thought would be cool. And then that's just a random piece of the pretend Lego that I want to use as its front sort of face. That's an old Nicorette bottle. This is, in my mind, was going to be where, because I'd sort of made up a backstory for this robot, and it was going to be a pool cleaner. For short, it was going to be a PCR Robot. Yep, that's an old 2022 joke. So I'm just going to stick this this container onto the top, and then I'm going to start working on the arms. So while all that was drying, I went through the fake Lego and just dug out some random greebles, which was basically some tyres that I was going to cut down and just use as bumpers, I suppose, and an old tyre track. I think there was a tank in one of the kits that I bought, so I'm just going to use one of the tracks for the tank, and going to use that so it looks like the front bit that's sticking out of the container can actually move up or down while it was cleaning pools, even though in England and the Republic of Ireland you don't see a lot of pools in people's back gardens. So I cut up one of the tyres and then placed it either side of the switch, so the switch wasn't as noticeable as it could be, and test everything to make sure I hadn't glued the switch and everything still worked. And then just trying to work out where the tyre is going to be, the tyre track, and just because the back end was a bit bulky, I just trimmed it down and then stuck it down after I've put the visor on. I'm just using some more of that acrylic putty just to cover the gaps, just to give it a little bit more of a seamless sort of join. And what I found using this acrylic putty is you wet your finger and you can smooth it really well, and then if you put the hairdryer on it, it dries within minutes, ready to be able to sand down. So there I'm just putting the tyre track on the front, so that goes on, and then I'm going to go on to the arms very shortly. Having realised that a full ping pong ball looked a bit stupid, I just trimmed a little bit of one of the, I can't say edge because balls don't have an edge, of one of the sides, sanded it down, and then stuck it onto the model. And then once that was done, I took a midnight raid to Bill Making Stuff's house and stole a lot of his beads. I didn't actually go to Bill Making Stuff's house. I found these in the most random of places that you would never think to look for beads. So I'm well stocked up on beads again now, which I'm very happy about. So I'm just going to use a few of these. Got to use some of the washers that come with the bolts. I think they're for roofing even. And then what I'm going to do, just make a normal sort of arm out of the beads, and then cover some of the holes with a bit of the foam inside, and then use some more of the acrylic putty just to cover the hole up. And then me being me, thinking it needs some pipes to come from the top of the container, sort of like an in pipe and an out pipe. So I used a cheap drain cleaner that you shove down your drain, cut it into bits, and then just attached it onto the back of the ping pong balls. So off camera I just added the arms. I put them at different angles, just to give it some sort of shape and look like one arm was doing one thing, the other arm was doing another. And then it was on to the priming. Now I've watched North of the Border do this, where he puts his hand in front of the build and then takes the hand away and it's primed. So I'm going to try now. So abracadabra. Damn it. Okay, right, going to try again. Abracadabra. Now let's go. God damn it. Look, okay, never mind. Right, one more turn. Abracadabra. Here we go. Come on. Yes, get in. Result. All primed by the fairies. So now it's primed. I'm just going to do a couple of easy colours. I'm going to do like a teal colour and an orange colour, because I seem to do a lot of dark colours lately. So I'm going to use this colour, and then kind of liked how that colour looked to the grey, so kind of left some of the primer grey showing and just painted the arms with the orange. The intention was to paint everything else the orange. I think it's actually called burnt bone or something. I don't know what it's, but to me it looks like a light orange. But like I said before, I really did like some of the grey against the contrast to the bluish teal colour. So I did use a wolfen grey just to highlight some of the other stuff. And then I used the black for the piping and some of the trim. And then, because I'm a lazy painter, I use the silver Sharpie. God help me when this runs out, I don't know what I'm going to have to do. Just to go around and highlight just like nicks and scratches and stuff like that. And I used a sponge with some Vallejo rust, or was it Army Painter rust, and just dabbed some rust on here and there as well. And that was my first time using the sponge on that. Now unfortunately I didn't film it while I was doing the rust with the sponge, simply because I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and if it wasn't going to work then I wasn't going to embarrass myself, so nobody knew any different. So you'll see it in the glamour shots, which are coming up shortly, and which means all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, you know what to do, just to hit all the correct buttons, share the video. A lot of people saying that nowadays, but most of all, thanks for coming back to watch, and until next time, keep scratching that build. Thanks for watching.